Okay, good morning, M4. Today, for math, we are going to learn how to add and subtract mixed fraction. Let's do a quick recap. What's a mixed fraction? A mixed fraction will always have a whole number and a proper fraction. Okay? For example, we have 2 and 3/4. Our whole number here is 2. That's whole, it's not divided. And our proper fraction here is 3/4. We call it proper fraction because 3 is bigger, or rather smaller, than your denominator 4, okay? It's proper fraction if the numerator is smaller than your denominator. So this is an example of a mixed fraction. Another example of mixed fraction is 5 and 2/5. 5 and 2/5. In this example, 5 is our whole number and our proper fraction is 2/5. This is another mixed fraction. And in this lesson, as I've said, we are going to learn how to add or plus or subtract or minus mixed fraction. Okay, so we are going to talk about 4 steps how to get the answers. I already wrote that in our Google Classroom instruction for math today, so you should have already wrote it on your notebook or copied it, so you can go you can understand the lesson, and you can go with the lesson. Okay, so first let's talk about step 1. Step 1 is to change mixed fractions to improper fractions. We have discussed it, but of course I'm going to show it again here. Okay, for example, we have this problem: 9/1/2 plus 5 and 3/4. Okay, so as the step 1 says, change mixed fraction to improper fraction. So we are going to change both of them, not only one, but both of them. We are going to change them to improper fraction. Okay, let's start with this fraction. And to change mixed fraction to improper fraction, what you need to do is you're going to multiply your denominator with your whole number. So for this fraction, our denominator is 2, and we need to multiply it to 9. So let me just do a line. So you're going to multiply that. And the product, or the answer, you have to add to 1, or to your numerator. Okay, so in this fraction, we do 2 times 9. 2 times 9 is 18. So 18 plus 1 is 19. So for this mixed fraction, our numerator will be 19. Again, if you'll ask where did 19 come from, I got it from here. 2 times 9, 18. 18 plus 1 is 19. So this will be our numerator. The numerator will still remain the same, 2. So you just write down 2. So that is our improper fraction for this mixed fraction. Improper because the numerator is bigger than your denominator. Okay, so we are done with this mixed fraction. Let's do plus here. So let's do this mixed fraction over here. Again, you are going to multiply your denominator to your whole number, and you are going to add the answer to your numerator, 3. So 4 times 5 is 20. 20 times 3 is 23. So 23 will be our numerator, and for our denominator, we'll just copy 4. So that's it for step 1. So for our step 2, what we need to do is find the common denominators. It is the same like what we are doing with our previous activities. We have our fractions here, and they have different denominator. So we are going to find the common or the same denominator by using the process that we have used before. You can use either crisscross method or using your times table to get the LCD. We can check the as you can see, the denominators here are 2 and 4. It's easy to identify what is the common denominator, because we all know that 4 is a multiple of 2. Therefore, we can use 4 as our common denominator. So, since we're using 4 as our common denominator, we are just going to copy this fraction, 23 over 4. Alright, so for this fraction, since we're going to use 4 as our denominator, we have to think, what do we need to multiply to 2 to get the answer 4? Of course, that will be 2. 2 times 2. And since we are going to multiply our denominator with 2, we also have to multiply our numerator with 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 19 times 2 is 38. So let me just write 38 here. Alright, so this will be our step 2. We find the common denominator, and now we have the same denominator here. We have 4. Okay, now that we have the same denominator, what you need to do is you're going to check the sign here. Is it addition or subtraction? So for this example, we are using addition sign, so it means we have to add it. All right, so that's going to be our step 3. So for our step 3, we need to add or subtract the numerators. Again, the sign here is plus, so we're going to add them. Okay, so 33 plus 23. The answer for that is 61. And of course, our numerator will still be the same. We just copy 4. Okay, simple as that. Again, for step 3, you're just going to add the numerators, the one on top, 38 plus 23, 61, and then you copy the numerator. So that's it for step 3. And it is important, again, to check if you need to simplify your answer. So you look at your numerator 61 and your denominator 4. Is there any number, the same number, that can divide 61 and 4 together? You have to think. Now, let's see. 4 can be divided by 2, because it can be 2 times 2 is equals 4. But 61 can't be divided by 2. 3, you can't use it with 4. You can't also use it for 61. So, by checking, there's no same number that can divide 61 and 4. So this will be our simplified answer. Okay, so 61 over 4 is our simplified answer. However, it's not the final answer yet, because we still have step 4. Okay, again, remember, when you're done with step 3, when you have the answer in step 3, always check if you have to simplify your answer. In this case, we do not have to simplify the answer, because there's the same number that can be divided to the both of them. Okay, so we will use this fraction for our step 4. Okay, so the answer we got earlier was 61, or rather it's 61 over 4. So we just copied it here, 61 over 4. Okay, now the step 4 is we have to change it to mixed fraction. We have practiced it before as well. So to change mixed fraction to change improper fraction to a mixed fraction, what you need to do is you're going to divide your numerator to your denominator. Okay, again, to change mixed fraction, to change it to mixed fraction, you are going to divide. Okay, I'll show it. You are going to use the long division. See, the number that we have to put outside is always our denominator. Okay, in this fraction we have 4, so we write 4 outside, and our numerator will always be our dividend, 61, so we write 61 here. Okay, now you do the regular or the basic or the usual division process. So you check 4 and 6 here. How many 4 is inside 6? You think there's 1, so you put 1 on top of 6. Now you multiply 1 times 4 equals to 4, and then you take away 6 minus 4. Answer is 2, and then you still have 1 here, so you're going to bring it down here. So we have 21 now. How many 4 is inside 21? The answer is 5, so you write 5 on top of 1. 5 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20, so you write 20 here, and then you're going to take away 21 minus 20. The answer is 1. Now there's no more number in your dividend, so we have a remainder 1. So what you're going to do is you're going to put it 0.1. So this is the answer for 61 divided by 4. Now, how are we going to make it as a mixed fraction? If you can remember on our exercises before, what we'll do is the answer here, the numbers on the left side of the decimal point, this is the decimal point, the numbers on the left side here will be our whole number. Okay, so the number on the left side is 15. So we write equals here. Equals here. The number on the left side is 15. So that is our whole number. So we write 15. The number on the right side of the fraction, or rather the number on the right side of the decimal point is 1. So 1 will be our numerator. So we put 1 on top and then the line. And our denominator will still be the same. Our divisor, or you check here, you write 4. Okay? So that's it. That's how to write it or convert it to mixed fraction. Again, the whole number comes from here. The numbers on the left side of your decimal point. So you write here. And then 1, or for the numerator, it is the number on the right side from the decimal point. And then for your denominator, you can still copy the same denominator. Okay, you can also check the answers or your answers if it's correct. All you have to do is you are going to multiply 4 to 15. You'll have 60. 60 plus 1 is 61, therefore 61 over 4. Okay, it's the same process when you do subtraction for mixed fraction. Okay, I will give you an example using the 4 steps we have. For example, we have this problem, 4 2/3 minus 2 3/6. So since that's our problem, and our first step is to convert mixed fractions to improper fractions. So what I'm going to do is convert them first. We start with this fraction. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 2 equals 14. So we write 14 as our numerator, and for our denominator, we are still going to use 3. So I'm just going to write 3 there. Minus sign. Again, we are subtracting. Now we do the same for this mixed fraction. 6 times 2 is 18. plus 3. Oh, I'm sorry, 6 times 2 rather is 12, plus 3 is 15. So we write 15 here, and the denominator is still the same, 6. Okay, so that is our first step. We have converted our mixed fraction to improper fraction. Next step, we're going to find the same denominator or the least common denominator. And I'm going to use for this process the crisscross method. Of course, you can also use your times table if you know the multiple of the denominators, okay? But for this, I will use crisscross. Again, you can always use the other one. So I'm going to multiply the denominators here. 3 times 6. 3 times 6 is 18. So we are going to use 18 for our denominator. So I'm going to write 18 here and 18 here as well. Of course, the sign minus. Now we are going to crisscross multiply. So 6 times 14. 6 times 14, we have 84. 3 times 15. 3 times 15, we have 45. Now we have this for our second step. We have the same denominators now, 18 and 18. Now the next step is we are just going to subtract. You have to look at the sign. It can be addition, but on this example we are subtracting. So you just have to subtract your numerators. We'll just put an equal sign to that. Let's copy the denominator. Denominator will still be the same, 18. Now you check 84 minus 45. So what we get is 39. So you put there. Okay, 39 is from here. 84 minus 45. Now we have this answer now. After our step 3, we have this answer 39 over 18. Now you have to think, do we need to simplify 39 and 18? Think of a number, same number, that can both divide 18 and 39, or a multiple of 39 and 18. Okay, let me give you an example how to simplify it. For this fraction 39 over 18, we have to simplify it, and we know that, let me put this equal sign there. We know that 18, we can get 18 by multiplying 3 times 6. I can put this one. 3 times 6, we get 18. 3 times 6 is 18. What about 39? Can we also get it from 3? Yes, we can. We can multiply 3 times 13. 3 times 13 equals 39. Okay? And what you have to do now is you're just going to cross out 3 and you cross out 3. Alright? Since they're the same, so you just cross out 3. Now you have the remaining answer, 13 over 6. Therefore, the simplified form of 39 over 18 is 13 over 6. So this is the simplified form. You think, is there any number that we can divide 13 and 6? 6 can be divided by 3, or is a multiple of 3, but 13 is not. So therefore, this is our final and simplified answer. Okay? So after we got the simplified answer for step 3, we go to step 4, and that is to convert the improper fraction to mixed fraction. That's our step 4. So for step 4, I'm going to do it here. We're just going to divide our numerator to our denominator. And in this answer, our denominator is 6, our numerator is 13. And I am going to use division. For our divisor, or the number outside, it's always our denominator. And here we have 6, so we put 6 outside. And then for our dividend, that will always be our numerator. And for this example, we have 13, so I will write 13 over here. Now you just do the usual division. How? First, of course, you do digit by digit. 1 is not enough, so you use the second digit. So you have a total of 13. Now think, how many 6 can fit inside 13? There are 2 6, so you write 2 on top of 3. Now 2 times 6 is 12. Take away 13. Take away 12, or 13 minus 12 is 1. Now there's no more number on the dividend, so 1 is our remainder. Now you put 1 on top after your decimal point. Now you have 2.1 as an answer. So the final answer for that is the whole number, again, is the number on the left side of the decimal point. And on this we have 2. So 2 will be our whole number. And the number on the right side will be our numerator. And on this answer we have 1. So 1 will be our numerator. And for our denominator, it's still going to be the same, 6, or our divisor, 6. So you're going to put 6 down here. So this is the final answer. For 4 2/3 minus 2 and 3/6, the answer is 2 and 1/6. Simple as that. Okay, don't forget to check for simplification if you need to simplify your answers. Okay, another thing you might see in your exercise, what if there's in the problem they already have the same denominator? Okay, I'm going to give an example how to do that. Okay, on this problem we have 2 and 1/3 plus 3 and 2/3. In this example they already have the same denominator. So what do we do? Okay, what do we do is still the same. We still follow step 1. We are going to convert the mixed fraction to improper fraction. Okay, so again you still have to multiply 3 to your whole number. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So you just write 7. Now for your denominator, we are still going to use the same. So we write 3. Now we have 7, 3. You copy the sign, plus. Now we do this mixed fraction. 3 times 3 equals 9. Now you're going to add 2. 9 plus 2 equals 11. Now you're going to copy the same denominator, 3. Now for this step, we have to skip step number 2 because we already have the same denominator. We don't need to look for the same denominator. We don't have to use crisscross method. We don't have to use the times table to get the least common denominator because they already have the same denominator. So what you're going to do is that you are going to proceed to step 3. You just add or subtract the numerator, or rather numerators. In this example we are going to add because the sign we have here is plus. So we are going to add the numerators. For the denominators we are still going to copy them. So it's 3. Copy 3. Now 7 plus 3 equals 18. Now we have 18 here. Now you have to think, do we need to simplify 18 over 3? Think of the same number that can multiply, or rather that can be divided 3, or multiples if they have the same multiple. Now think, how do we get 18? We can get 18 by using 3. 3 times 6 equals to 18. What about 3? How do we get 3? We can get that by multiplying 3 times 1 equals 3, right? Now again, to simplify, this is the simplification method, okay? You just have to cross out 3 and you have to cross out 3 here, and you are left with this number 6 over 1. Therefore, the simplified answer or the simplified fraction for 18 over 3 is 6 over 1. Okay, now what you will do is you are going to convert this improper fraction by using division. So I'm just going to show you division, long division. Now the number we put outside as for our divisor is again always our denominator. And here we have 21. We have 1. So you're going to put 1 outside for your divisor. It's going to write 1. Now inside we are going to use 6 for dividend. So 6 will be our dividend. Again, don't use decimal point here because 6 is bigger than your divisor outside. So don't use decimal point. Some of you are using, but don't. Always think, is the inside number or is the dividend bigger than divisor? If it is bigger, don't use decimal point. Okay, so now use the basic division. How many 1 can fit inside 6? Of course, there's 6. So you just put 6 here and you multiply. 6 times 6 is 6. Take away 0. Now you have the answer 6 only. There's no decimal point. And you will say, what are we supposed to do, Miss Maria? There's no decimal point. We can't convert it to mixed fraction. If that's the case, if there's no decimal point, then the answer is just simply 6. Okay, simple as that. You don't, if there's no decimal point, there's no remainder, you don't think of anything else. Don't confuse yourself. Just stick to the answer 6. So 2 and 1/3 plus 3 and 2/3 equals to 6. Okay. If you have any other questions or if you want me to explain to you further, just let me know so I can assist you with your exercises. If you won't tell me, I wouldn't know that you need help. Okay, so it's important for you to ask questions. It's important because it's for me to know how to help you. Okay, don't be shy. Just give me a message privately if you want to. It's okay. All right, and again, when you're done with your activity, take a clear photo and don't forget to take down notes. I also wrote it in the instruction in Google Classroom. That's all for today.